Hello trader, welcome back to another analysis. While gold is pumping up, we can see that GBPJPY and GBPUSD currently in a downtrend, and we can see that with the FOMC rejection here, the market is currently maintaining series of lower high here. So before we look at that, how we can trade, looking at monthly on GBPUSD to see that overall picture in this market. So the current monthly price, as we are almost approaching to the last week of the month, we can see that the market had a rejection from this previous monthly resistance line. And as the market had that rejection from this previous monthly resistance line, the possibility for this price to come back here to retest this monthly low is very high. And as we are almost nearing to the end of the month, expecting that this week the market potentially to remain bearish here to retest this monthly support. Now if we look at the weekly price action, what we can see here, this is the weekly bearish pin bar here, and that weekly bearish pin bar, which is significant bearish price action, and this is almost nearly closing this candle. And with that close of this candle from the weekly, if we see that it's closing as a pin bar, we can expect this market to reject back again, as this is a very high rejection. What I think the price to come back here to this weekly support level, previous liquidity zone. Now dropping down to the daily chart here on British pound US dollar, we can see that from the daily, this is the daily bearish pin bar with a one single impulse back below, and back to back 3 days the market dropped well below here, expecting this market to pull back. And then what I think that the price in the upcoming week as well could remain bearish to this support level, as we can see this market is maintaining local downtrending market structure. Now during the FOMC, we saw that there was a manipulation and the candle closed with a long rejection followed by pullback, and the market is maintaining this series of lower high and lower low, which is potentially showing that British pound US dollar could be bearish, and expecting that this market to come back here to create a new lower low in this market. This could be the wave on GBPUSD for this upcoming session and days, and the market is trending, and even we could see at the end of the week we could see the market to drop down further. If we see price action confirmation, we can look for sell in that area. Now if we look at the GBP JPY, while we see British pound US dollar is highly bearish, GBP JPY, if we look at the weekly price action also, we can see a weekly rejection here. And this is the resistance line where, if we look at, you can see this is the resistance here, resistance here, resistance here, and the market has crossed that high, grabbed the liquidity, closed as a bearish pin bar. If we look at the daily here, you can see also long wick and then rejection back below. From the 4-hour chart here, that we can see the market, this is massive bearish move, narrow pullback, another move. The market is maintaining this series of lower high and lower low, which is typical downtrending market structure here on GJ, expecting that this market to potentially pull back to the upside and then continue to trend to the major direction. Here is the key support level on GJ, and in that support, what we can expect this market to give us stronger liquidity grab as we are approaching to the end of the week, expecting this market to continue to drop to this support level to create a new lower low in this market. This could be the potential wave for this week on GJ. And as the market is maintaining that series of lower highs, still there isn't enough liquidity sweep from the top, so we will be waiting for a pullback, and once we see the price action confirmation, we can look for selling in this market. Traders, if you enjoy this education and analysis, make sure you give a thumbs up and also subscribe to the channel if you haven't done yet. Thank you, and I'll see you soon in my next analysis.